The message I never sent. It's strange how words can live inside you. How a message you never sent can haunt you more than the ones that broke you. I still have it, that unsent text. It's been there for months, maybe a year. I open it sometimes, not to change it, just to remember the version of me who wrote it. The one who still believed that if she said the right words, maybe he'd stay. It started on a Wednesday, I remember, because it rained. And for some reason, it always rained when I was losing something. We were fine the night before. At least, I thought we were. We talked about nothing, like always. His voice was tired, but I told myself it was just work. I should have known better. People don't sound tired when they talk to someone they still love. The next morning, the silence was too loud. No text. No good morning, just nothing. I stared at the screen, refreshing it like that could make him appear. Hours passed. Then a day. Then 3. And still nothing. At first, I told myself he was busy. Then I told myself he needed space. Then I stopped lying. Because deep down, I knew he was gone. Not dead. Just gone. And somehow, that hurt more. The worst part isn't the leaving. It's the way they leave, without goodbye, without warning, like you never mattered. It's like standing in a room where someone just turned off the music, and you're still swaying, still waiting for a beat that will never come back. I tried to be strong. I deleted his photos. I threw away his hoodie. But the smell of him was still in my room, in my pillow, in the space between heartbeats. People said, move on. But how do you move on from someone who still lives in your phone? In your memories, in the version of yourself that only existed with them? I remember one night, I drafted a message. It said, I miss you. I don't hate you. I just wish you told me why. I didn't send it. Because I knew he wouldn't answer. And I didn't want to give him the power to ignore me again. So I kept it. Saved it. A little graveyard inside my phone, where all my unsaid words go to die. Weeks passed. Then months. And little by little, I learned how to breathe again. How to laugh without checking if he saw my story. How to fall asleep without scrolling through old chats. Healing isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the moment you stop checking your phone. It's when a song that once shattered you suddenly just sounds like music again. It's when you look at your reflection and don't see sadness staring back. But even healing has ghosts. There are still nights when I wake up, reaching for someone who isn't there. And for a second, I feel that familiar ache, the one that whispers, he's not coming back, and then I breathe, and I let it pass. A year later, I saw him. Same city, same street, different person. He smiled, that half smile that used to melt me. But this time, it didn't. He said, hey, and I just nodded. No hate, no pain, just peace. When I got home, I opened that old draft again. It was still there, that unsent message. The one that said, I miss you, but I didn't feel it anymore. So I deleted it. Not out of anger, out of freedom. Because I finally understood, the closure I was waiting for was never going to come from him. It came the moment I stopped needing it. Sometimes, we don't need to say goodbye. Sometimes, silence is the only ending that fits. And that's okay. Now, when it rains, I don't think of him anymore. I think of me, the girl who survived waiting, who learned that some messages are better left unsent. Because the truth is, if they wanted to stay, you wouldn't be reading this story alone tonight. It's strange how even after you've healed, the silence still knows your name. There are days now when I barely think of him. Days when I laugh without feeling guilty, when the sunlight feels soft again, when life almost tastes like it used to. But then there are nights, quiet, ordinary nights, when I catch myself staring at the ceiling, and for no reason at all, his face drifts back into my mind. Not the pain, not the anger, just the memory of who we used to be. I think that's what no one tells you about healing. It doesn't erase, it softens. You stop bleeding, but the scar still knows how it happened. Sometimes, I walk past the cafe where we used to sit. They changed the tables, painted the walls a different color. But if I close my eyes, I can still see us there, him laughing, me pretending not to love him too much. I don't cry anymore. But I do feel this quiet ache, like missing something that never fully belonged to me. I think love does that. It gives you memories that feel like home in places you can never go back to. He once said, I'll always be a part of you, and I hated that. Because I didn't want him to be right. But he was. Not in the way I feared, though. He's a part of me like winter is part of spring. It doesn't stay, but it teaches you how to bloom again. People assume healing means forgetting. It doesn't. It means remembering without wanting to go back. It means you can finally tell the story without your voice breaking halfway through. Sometimes, I wonder if he ever thinks of me. Not in a sad way, just curious. Does he ever remember the way I used to listen? The way I made him coffee before work? Or how I'd trace circles on his hand when he couldn't sleep? Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. But it doesn't matter anymore. Because I finally stopped needing to exist in someone else's memory to feel real in my own life. You see, there's a peace that comes when you stop waiting for someone to come back and start waiting for yourself to arrive. That's what healing really is, meeting yourself again after losing everything that wasn't meant to stay. It's looking in the mirror and realizing, this version of me, she was born in the fire I thought would kill me. And I think that's beautiful, not because it's happy, but because it's honest. I don't believe in happily ever after anymore, but I do believe in peace. In waking up one morning, seeing the sun, and not feeling the weight of yesterday on your chest. He never said goodbye, and maybe that's okay, because if he had, maybe I would have waited for another word. But now, there's nothing left to wait for, and that silence, the same silence that once broke me, it feels like home now. When it rains, I still listen, not for him, just for the sound of everything I survived. And somewhere between the raindrops and my own heartbeat, I realize I don't need closure anymore, because I became it.